What does it look like there now?
Well, it's not good, I can tell you that much. I don't know if my face is a little more red than the last time you saw me, but yeah, the snowfall began at around 6 p.m. last night, and as you can see, it hasn't really let up since. I actually can't even see the camera right now, but they're expecting to get about 30 to 50 centimeters accumulated here on the ground in the next 24 hours or so. Environment Canada saying that 10 centimeters has already fallen. I might dispute that at this point though, because it does look like a lot more like that and feels like it as well. Some of the local school divisions have already closed schools for Wednesday and Thursday. So if there is a silver lining or some good news, some of those people will get an extended long weekend as they head into their April break. Well, for example, the fire hall in Estevan here, which is behind me, I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but it is behind me. They put out a call last night to tell people that haven't put their snowmobiles away for the season to try and stay on high alert to help out other people in the community if it comes down to that. As for the mayor, he says his staff has been on high alert since Monday. We saw plows out in parking lots at about 5 a.m. this morning. At about 7:30, we saw some of them start to hit the road, but they believe they have an experienced staff here in Estevan to deal with this, mostly because about a decade ago, they dealt with some floods, and they feel like that situation has kind of helped them for this week.
And Ian, what are organizations' driving conditions?
Well, as you can tell, visibility isn't good, but they're telling people to kind of prepare with a bit of a 72-hour emergency kit in case there is power outages or people are stuck at home. Environment Canada saying visibility, like I said, not going to be good, and that's why the RCMP is telling people to stay off the open highways because wind gusts are expected to reach over 70 kilometers per hour in certain parts of the province. And actually, we just spoke with a family that was coming down from Alaska through Estevan and on their way to North Dakota hauling a U-Haul. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure how far they'll make it at this point because the storm or the blizzard is only supposed to get worse as the day goes on into the afternoon here.
Our Ian Duffy joins us live now. He's inside Mosaic Stadium to talk about what we can expect from the riders on the field tonight. Hey, Ian.
Hi, Lisa. I think that's actually the beauty of tonight's game is that no one really knows what to expect. Even the high-flying Ticats just put up 6 points in their debut last night. And talking to the riders, there's a big level of excitement and almost a playoff-type feel with all the hype. But there's also, you get the sense that there's a little bit of a nervous energy heading into this one. Even Cody Fajardo talked to us about how he hasn't taken a hit in almost 2 years. So he's looking forward to that first contact. And on the flip side, the defense hasn't tackled anyone in 2 years. So Fajardo said you can expect lots of quick passes, and you can also expect lots of emotion in the building from fans and players alike.
I think the biggest thing, and a lot for the younger players, including myself, I'm going to be extremely nervous, and I'm going to be up front.
I think it's going to be really special when they play that national anthem, and maybe they'll give us a couple extra minutes after the anthem before they kick off to compose ourselves and get going again.
And if you're looking to make tonight even more special for the province, consider the fact that there are 9 Saskatchewan-born players currently on the roster, 4 of which will be starting on the offensive line tonight. An offensive line that took a big hit yesterday when it was announced that left tackle Taron Vaughn will likely miss the remainder of the season. So we're just a couple injuries away from basically me getting in the lineup. But in all seriousness, I just wanted to give a shout out to our good friend Warren Woods, who we lost during the pandemic to COVID-19. He will certainly be missed in the press box here tonight. Lisa.
And as federal mandates for vaccines begin, more local mandates are emerging as well. Saskatchewan's 2 universities have both come out with official vaccination measures for the fall term. As Emily Olson explains, they're not taking any chances.
And our Ian Duffy is live at the Brand Center as they get set for the rodeo to kick off tonight. And Ian, what's the vibe down there like right now?
Well, Marnie, on the way in, we actually saw some bulls running loose in the parking lot, and right now I can barely hear you, and the event hasn't even started yet. So I think that kind of tells you all you need to know about the atmosphere. As for tonight, it is opening night for the rodeo, and it is free, so that's a bit of a game changer. But as we go into days 2, 3, and 4 and wrap up on Saturday, the prices will increase. But less than an hour until things actually get going here. It gets started at 7 o'clock, and people are already pouring in. Our cameraman Derek is surrounded right now.
And Ian, Agribition is always action-packed throughout the week. What can fans look forward to at the rodeo this week?
Well, this is actually Saskatchewan's highest paying rodeo. There's 8 events going on with $100,000 in prize money on the line. We've got everything from bull riding to bareback. And actually, we even have a new event this year, an all-female event, the ladies breakaway roping, which I'm looking forward to. And if you are here for the barrel racing and you happen to be sitting in the first couple rows, I would advise you to cover up your drink. And yes, that is coming from personal experience.
Well, that's definitely good to know. And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit and ask you a tough, hard-hitting question. What's your favorite event?
Well, I think I've told you this before, but I was obsessed with the movie 8 Seconds as a kid, so I'm definitely all in on the bull riding. A bit of an embarrassing story, actually. As a kid, I got so into that movie that I used to steal my parents' suitcases and go take them out on the front lawn and ride them and pretend to be a bull rider. So that kind of tells you where I stand on that. But mutton busting is something I don't think you want to miss. Little kids going out there and trying to ride the sheep, they inevitably fall off after about 2 seconds. But it is incredible, a must-see event, Marnie.
The NHL officially returned to the ice tonight, and this time without a bubble. The action north of the border began with a rivalry game in Toronto, something we'll hear a lot of this year with the new All-Canadian division. Team Canada has officially announced its roster for the upcoming World Junior Hockey Championship, and this year, 3 Saskatchewan-born players have cracked the roster.
Ian Duffy joins us now live at the Brandt Centre for an update on how they've gotten to this point and what the players are saying about play on the ice. Hey, Ian.
Yeah, Lisa, while the schedule is winding down, the competition is really just heating up. Winnipeg just beat Saskatoon 4-1 here behind me. Both teams battling Brandon for first place in the division with 2 games remaining. And like you said, it's been really impressive that we've made it all this way to the final weekend without a single issue or positive test, COVID test that is, here in the Regina hub. And that's really a credit to all the work that's gone in behind the scenes. And this is the only division that can actually say that across the WHL. They've had positive tests and rescheduled games in all 3 of the other regions in Alberta, BC, and the American division. As for the play on the ice, it's been easy to kind of disregard the meaning of each game with no playoffs on the line, but while coaches have been using this time to develop and play young players, the goal of winning every time out hasn't changed. You just heard the guys talking about the level of competition. Even I've had to be reminded that there really is no off switch in a rivalry, with the exception of maybe a couple games where the guys look tired. Whether it's been Prince Albert and Saskatoon, Regina and Moose Jaw, there's been plenty of chirping, some fighting, even some suspensions. So that spark and passion is definitely still there, and we will see that again tonight when the Pats meet the Warriors. All 3 of their previous meetings have gone to overtime, so it should be another good one here tonight. Lisa?
If I would rate it from 1 to 10, I would say a 10, because he's just pretty stoked to be able to play with his friends again.
After being relegated to driveway hoops for over 3 months, you can feel the excitement as soon as you walk through the doors at Laval High School in Regina, where Hoop Life has launched their summer basketball camps.
But be in control, does that make sense?
Having it back is crazy. I love going to the gym, hanging out with my friends, doing drills.
If you're going to stay at home all the time, you're not going to be doing that exercise that you kind of need. So just for them to be out here, putting some shots and hanging out with some of their friends and some new faces that they're going to see, I think it's a pretty huge change for them.
While being able to get back in the gym and play basketball brings an obvious happiness level for the kids, the mental health aspect of the return is palpable for both players and parents at Hoop Life's first week of camp.
It is great for the kids, not just mentally wise as well as emotional wise, because being at home, I know I try my best to keep them active, but it's also different to be able to socialize. I guess that's the main thing.
Camp looks a little different right now, with the gym divided into quadrants and athletes bringing their own ball, with some not even able to register for opening week because of the volume of interest. But Hoop Life, a company that already emphasizes the mental side of the game, has made it even more of a focus.
Our main goal is to use basketball as a tool to teach confidence. We believe if you're confident, you can do anything you want. So we, especially during COVID and everything, when we're doing our online training, we wanted to encourage the kids as much as we can, making sure they're having a good time and they're just believing in themselves, that they don't get discouraged because of this whole COVID thing.
Ian Duffy, Global Sports.
Saskatoon roots.
Now, this is the first neutral site outdoor game in Canada. Why is it important for you guys to have an event like this in a city that doesn't have an NHL franchise? A couple more injury notes for you. Josh Mahura of the Pats and Brett Howden of the Warriors both hurt earlier this week in the Canada-Russia series. Well, Howden is out tonight for the Warriors. Mahura checks in for the Pats. Both of these teams will go at it again on Sunday in Moose Jaw. We'll have all the highlights for you of tonight's game on Global News at 10. Now the Leopoldus Golden Suns here in the semis. James will have to race out here after the game. His sons, Sam and Ben, with a big playoff game over at the U of R. But the semifinals here tonight, the finals underway tomorrow. Taylor? Whether it be on the pond or in a backyard rink, hockey in its purest form doesn't have referees or painted lines or big salaries. And the players at this year's Heritage Classic were reminded of that when they hit the ice in the open air at Mosaic Stadium, including Jets captain Blake Wheeler, who has his own backyard rink for his son to create those same memories.
To kind of share that with him and see him, just strap his skates on and go out there by himself and tool around for a half hour. I mean, that's pretty cool because, that those are my memories and how I fell in love with the game, and he's doing the same thing. So, for me, that's where I just sit in the window and watch him, and it kind of reminds you what it's all about, and so that's pretty cool.
Even here, right in a huge stadium, you get out in the open air, it's just better. It's a better way to practice. It brings you right back to all the things that are great about the game, and it's also pure in that for everybody in this room who's ever had skates on, it's what we all share. So I'll never know what it's like to be like Blake Wheeler, to play in the NHL, skate like that, but we all share that, boys and girls, outdoor rinks.
And growing up in a family of Rider fans, Jets defenseman Josh Morrissey is getting his own enjoyment from skating at field level at Mosaic.
My grandparents, lived here their whole lives, and my dad did until he was an adult. So definitely, at Christmas growing up, my grandparents would, gift us Rider jerseys and hats and stuff like that. So it was tough growing up in Calgary, I guess, as a Rider fan, and then getting drafted by Winnipeg. It's kind of the trifecta of rivals. So it's been an interesting transition that way.
About halfway between Calgary and Winnipeg, you can expect to see plenty of blue and red in the crowd tonight. But as Morrissey knows, you can also expect to see plenty of Rider jerseys as well. Ian Duffy, Global Sports. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Saskatchewan's wildfire situation showing no signs of letting up. With extreme heat warnings and no rain in the forecast, residents in the northeast are preparing for evacuation.